Hey everybody, this is JR2576 with another video. Just wanted to demonstrate to you guys the progress that I've made since the beginning of early access with everybody's input, everybody's information they've been putting, whether it's on Reddit or YouTube. You just got to read it, try it, visualize it, practice, a lot of practice. It's a lot of experimentation, trial and error, see what works for you and what doesn't. So like this right here is a mech. This is literally the first thing I created when I got the Dreams early access. And it is nothing special at all. I was still learning a lot of stuff. Just your basic shapes pretty much. Let's see. Nothing great here. It was made strictly with the DualShock 4. And like I said, this is my first project. Then I moved on to a game I made, my Pac-Man game, which is by far nothing as good as most of the games I've seen online. This was literally right after I created that mech. I learned a lot of stuff moving along too. So like I made these assets, which I probably should have done differently now that I look at it. This is the game. Let me show you. So like that was my Pac-Man guy, basic, nothing special with him either. The ghosts, nothing really all that special with them either. If you've seen any of my latest works, these are okay, but they're not great. Like I said, I was still learning. I was learning a lot. This was a big logic learning for me. Show a little bit of everything. Then I moved on to my dragon guy. He was my next creation. I spent a lot of time on this guy. Uh, he looks okay. Yeah, he talks when I talk. I learned some more logic. I got the blinking. Obviously, I got the talking with the microphone. Uh, some more of his animations. Yeah, see, he still has issues. I was trying a different approach with him. Like I said, overall not bad. I like the way he looks, but not really usable, I guess, for like a game. I mean, someone might want to remix him or use him for something, but he's not as popular as my newer creations, and you'll see why. But I did learn a lot with sculpting and logic on this guy as well. This is my next one. Um, it was actually a level, the Pyramids of Mysticism that I did. These are the assets that I used, which I found to be a lot easier. So, like, I made my puzzle adventure guy, who's not great at all, and then I made up temple wares and a bunch of different types of fire. This so I can just import it into my level, and if I was to come in and change any of this, it would automatically update instead of going into each level and updating them specifically. It will update all of it. I find that to be easier for when you're making games. You have multiple things within the game, so that way you can just update one thing. So like if I wanted to change this to like a blue, I would change it to a blue, and then it would update into my game itself. these guys. Just did the fire, which eventually became. This is my level 2 pyramid. This is level 1, and then this is my dream. This came a lot farther along. The pyramid, I learned a lot. This is some logic that I made on my own that I posted for people to give it a shout out and try, which actually takes place inside level 2. So like this is level 1. So like this is the whole level. I've learned a lot in this one as well. A lot of logic I learned, which I learned from watching a lot of YouTubers out there. Uh, Everybody knows, some of the more famous guys, Jimmy Jules, Neon the Coder. There's other guys out there too. Lady UK has some really good videos, and watching them and then watching the people on Reddit, Discord, they come up with some really good stuff. And they share their ideas and help along with any problems that you might have had. I actually got a lot of help trying to figure out some problems that I was having with logic in this game. And this game was received pretty well, considering it was really my first big game. Then I came across my wizard. This guy I spent a lot of time on. He was one of my most popular characters. I have other videos with him showcasing his magic and stuff like that. But he's a working puppet, and I learned a lot with him. Like my favorite new tool is the curve tool. I did use the move controls with this. I still use the DualShock 4, but I use the move controls a lot easier than I do with the DualShock 4. So depending on what I'm doing will depend on whether I'm using the moves or the DualShock 4. But like all this was done with the curve tool. The stuff around his arms and here, that was all done with the curve tool. These designs, this is all curve tool. I find it so much easier with the curve tool with the move controllers than I do with the DualShock 4. That was my wizard. And then someone actually asked me to post this staff separately from one of their collections, which I did. And then my next one was the Dark Knight. This is my more newer creation. He's been welcomed pretty well amongst the viewers and the people on Dreams. He also has controls and stuff like that that you can look into, and he does. He pulls out his weapon and stuff like that. As you can see, the progress that I made from my first mech to even to my Dark Knight and to my Wizard, it's all with practice. I mean, there's many times I'll be sculpting and then like 20 minutes, half an hour, or even longer sometimes as I'm sculpting, I'm like, nope, don't like it. I just back up, rewind, get rid of what I did, start again, try different shapes, different techniques, different blending. There's the hard mode, blending mode. You know what, too? There's also, let's see, I don't know how many people actually use this, but when you actually post a shape and you go into here, this will hollow out the shape. See, like that. And then you can cut it into sections. I don't know how many people actually use that, but I've come to actually like that quite a bit for many reasons. So like this part here is actually two half circles that I put together, hollowed out in the middle. Same thing with here, so it gives it some depth, and it kind of hides the lines where the stomach area was attached to the torso. So when you do a circle. See, so when you do the hollow, you don't notice it until you actually cut it in half, and then that's when you actually notice it. Not all shapes have this feature, but it is still a nice feature that I have been using more and more. Mm-hmm. This is actually my creation that I'm currently working on at the moment. I still have a ways to go. Uh, it's a scorpion that I'm working on. Um, this is my first shot at actually something more than just two legs. I got to work on the animation still for his legs. I mean, they work, just not as fluid as I would like. And I will be adding more claws and stuff like that. What I did with him is pretty much build him in the manner of a puppet, and then build off of that just like you would with a puppet. So like his claws are just these little things right now, but I will build off of them. Same thing, his head was like a little circle. His middle was like a little circle. This was like a bigger circle, but I just built onto him just like you would like a regular puppet. And this is what I'm actually working on right now. So, like I said, it's just a lot of practice. Um, Going through, trying different things. Don't get discouraged. Believe me, when I was doing my Dark Knight, I did 3 iterations of a Dark Knight before I actually got to this one. Sometimes things just don't click right and work properly, but eventually you'll come across the way to something that you do like, and you can just build off of that, and then use that knowledge onto your next piece and your next sculpture and so on. That's what I've been doing. I mean, when I first started, like I said, I started using the curve tool more often on my wizard, and then I started to use it even more, or if not the same, on my Dark Knight, and I like the way they came out. Now, my Scorpion, I haven't used it as much, except for like the legs, um, the arms, stuff like that. I used it, but not as much as I would say my Wizard and my Dark Knight. So it's just a lot of practice. So I just wanted to show everybody when you start off with something like this, you can eventually wind up learning and creating stuff like this and this. Um, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more confidence in yourselves to just keep learning. Watch those videos on YouTube. Watch those tutorials. The more you learn, the more you watch, the more you'll grasp over time, and then implement them into your sculptures and stuff like that. And you'll be able to learn a lot more as you just keep going through trial and error and trying different things. All right. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.